guys, welcome back to another edition of Chats from the Blog Cabin. I am joined by Analisa. I just asked you right before we went on too.
Oh, good. It's fine.
And she is actually the one responsible for Vicki Gunvalson to come on last week and chat about financial wellness, but she's coming on today to talk about side hustles. So tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Well, I can give you a little bit of background. So I actually grew up in the insurance industry. My dad started when I was 6 weeks old, so it's been a really long time. My sister's in the insurance industry. I went to college and I wasn't going to do what the family did. So I went into medical devices and pharmaceutical sales, spent 10 years in that till I had my second child, was laid off during maternity leave. And at that time I said, great, you know what, I guess I'll do the family business without being with family. So I, bounced around a little bit and settled on my niche and have been in the industry just about 17 years. But about 4 years ago, I knew that I needed more. I needed to offer my clients more than I was able to. I searched long and hard till I found Vicki. And it's been a wonderful match. I have learned so much from her. She's amazing, as you saw last week. And about a year ago, we kind of came up with the idea to start the Financial Wellness with Vicki group platform or whatever, that you were a part of that group that we have. Mm-hmm. And more recently, with everything that's gone on with COVID, I mean, that threw us for a loop. It threw everybody. Everybody's been thrown for a loop. But we decided to write a side hustle book. We felt like people needed to be more aware of options to make money when you're laid off and quarantine. It's a tough situation to be in.
So how did you find Vicki, though? Was it something that you were just searching for, or did you just...
I've been searching for the right home, if you will, to somebody that really aligned with the way that I wanted to do business. I mean, I'm very picky. I will always do the right thing for my clients 100% of the time, even if that means not selling them something. And I happened to watch her on TV. I mean, I watched the show a little bit, but not, as much as many people do. And I saw her on it. So what did I do? Being an insurance nerd, I decided to Google her. And so I saw her insurance accomplishments and I thought, that's impressive. So I started following Kodo on Instagram. And they had something one day and it said, oh, become an agent. And I thought, oh, I'm going to apply. They did. And they called me right back and they said, we want you to work for us. And I'm like, did you really do your research? Because how do you know what I am, And it just kind of went from there. It was very different. I mean, I never expected it. And I mean, it's really been wonderful. I've learned more from her than I ever could have imagined, not just about insurance, but just this financial wellness. She's just truly a wealth of information. And like I was telling you, she's the bigger, brighter version of myself. Mm-hmm. I tell her anything I do, she just, I don't know. It's a great thing.
I know. Last week, I learned so much from her in that little short conversation. Mm-hmm. So I can just imagine what you've learned. You said you're with her 4 years now?
Yeah.
So I can just imagine.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
So let's talk about side hustle. What would you describe as a side hustle? A lot of people don't know what side hustles are.
Well, I think what a side hustle, it can really encompass many different things. So what I'd look at it as is another source of income. Now, it can be something small, babysitting. In addition, it's in addition to your main source of income, or if you're a stay-at-home parent, it's a source of income. And it can really be anything. We like to look at it, Vicki and I talk about it, in that it's a way to reach your financial wellness goals faster. So we all know we need savings. And as she says, save more than you ever thought possible. Just save. Well, when times are tough and maybe you lost your job or maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck, that's even more stressful, knowing that you need to save and you're thinking, great, how am I supposed to save when I can barely make ends meet? Well, having a side hustle is a way to accomplish that goal. You could dedicate all that money that came in and put it all towards savings. So it takes a little bit of pressure off. And that was one of the inspirations for doing the book that I helped her put out.
So what's a good side hustle for most people? I mean, is it everybody's different, or?
No, I really don't think there's a right fit for everybody. I mean, we all have different skills, talents, family dynamics. And I'm not a fan of pushing everybody into the same fit, which is why I like working with Vicki, because we don't do that with insurance either. But in the book, we explore and give people many different ideas. I like to say there's app-based side hustles, such as, say, everyone knows about Uber and Lyft. There's many other app-based ones that all you need to do is sign up for an app, and you can do that work, and you can start getting paid the next week. That's great for some people, depending on the area of the country you live in. I mean, if you're rural, that might not be, you might not have many opportunities to be an Uber driver, but there's something literally for everybody out there.
So how would people go about finding their side hustle? Because I know that's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what my talents are. So what should they do?
So that's, one of the reasons that we wrote the book is to help people decide. So we have the book, and we're also doing, I don't know if you saw, we're doing a side hustle challenge in the Facebook group, and Vicki's helping people by giving them prompts and stuff to think about every day, how to choose your side hustle, how to organize, how to plan, because it's not something that everyone knows how to do. It's something that everybody can do, but it takes knowledge. And I think that that's one of the best things about her book, is that it really empowers people to find something that works for them.
I know one of the things that I saw in the Facebook group was that Vicki said, basically, don't go into debt to try to get your side hustle. So
Right.
Expand a little bit more about that.
There's typical, and we don't really talk about this particular type of side hustle just because it's not an option, or it's not something we talk about in the book. But there are these side hustles that most moms in particular have come across, and they'll say, oh, you can start your business for $3.99 and get your starter kit and all this kind of stuff. It's not really the way to go. There's ways to do it where you don't have to invest, that you can just go out and start making money. For example, let's just say Poshmark. It's an app-based, and it's where you can sell clothes. So, I don't know, most women have extra clothes and accessories laying around. And I mean, I've had my teenage daughter do it. I downloaded the app and I said, get to work. All that stuff that's on your floor, that's money. You want money? Go sell it. And she'll take the pictures and she'll list it, and people will, purchase it. And you download the free shipping label, and you purchase an envelope. That's it. Money comes to your account. So rather than purchase something, invest money into something, start small. If your dream is to, open your own business, save the money. Don't go into debt with it, especially right now.
So how can people go about saving the money from their side hustle? Because I know a lot of people say, oh, this bill's coming in, let me use this money for that I made with my side hustle to pay this bill instead. So how do you differentiate that?
Well, one of the things that Vicki recommends is have a separate bank account. Chances are the money that's coming into your side hustle is going to be pre-tax dollars. Usually they are, unless you're a W-2 employee, it's going to be pre-tax. So, she's a big proponent, don't mix up money. Don't put it with your day job that you're getting that money is after taxes. Have a dedicated account. When the money hits the account, you can pay your estimated taxes right then. I mean, you can log on to the irs.gov and pay your taxes every day if you wanted to, estimated. So keep the money separate. If it's not in your main account, it's not as tempting to use it to spend for a bill.
So do you suggest setting up as a business account or as a personal account?
It really depends on the way that your business is set up. I don't really want to give any sort of like tax advice or something like that. So definitely consult with your CPA. But no matter what, open a separate bank account for that money to go into.
Okay. Now let's talk about the side hustle books. How did it come about?
Well, when quarantine happened, Vicki and I were working on a different book. So I don't really want to talk about that too much because we're in the process of redoing it. But, things just, as you know, blew up. And it kind of felt like the wind was just knocked out of us. And we thought, oh boy, what now? Like, we've got all these people in a group, we have books ready to go, we have all this stuff ready to go, and people are losing their jobs left and right. What do we do to offer hope, I guess, is one of the things we were looking at. So we thought the best way to offer hope to people is teach people how to make that money on the side. I mean, there's no promises that you're going to get rich from a side hustle, but you can make money, and it can definitely help keep people afloat. I have a client that, is speaking to a professional in the medical industry, and when quarantine hit, his business really just tanked. And here he is with a medical degree, and I talked to him and he said, yep, I'm driving DoorDash. He goes, make $100, $200 a night. And he goes, I got to do what I got to do to pay my mortgage. And you know what? It's true. Work is work, an honest day's work is admirable no matter what you're doing.
I love how they're affordable too. They're very affordable. They're not like you see a lot of people that want to play on the names of the person that wrote it for it to be like $20, $30, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's one of the things that, I love about Vicki is that, she does truly care about people. And it's important for her that people learn how to do this and that it can be affordable to them. Yeah, I mean, she's got to charge for her time and effort doing this. But I think that she gives a lot of value in those books.
Yeah, and I was looking on the website right before we came on to talk about the side hustle to see when we're talking about why everyone needs a side hustle. Like you already mentioned extra money, because who doesn't love extra money? Honestly, everybody can need some extra money now and then.
Right.
Paying down your debt. So you suggest doing that as well, like having like one credit card that, like Vicki said last time, to run everything through, or no credit cards at all?
It just, again, that really depends. I mean, I don't know if you could tell just by like interviewing Vicki, but she's one of the most disciplined people that I know. And yes, she inspires me to not cheat on my diet and do all that kind of stuff. But, she's very disciplined. Not everybody has the same type of discipline that she has. And if you don't, then maybe credit cards aren't the right thing for you. But yes, side hustles are great for paying down debt. Again, you've got your money that's in your budget and everything is allocated, or, it should be, and people are learning how to do that. If they don't know, they're learning. And it's just an extra stream, and that money goes straight to the debt. When that's done, then, next goal. If you want to save for a vacation, college, down payment on a house, whatever, there's a lot of things that side hustle income can help accomplish for your financial wellness.
So basically with side hustles, you can set a goal for that particular money and say, okay, I'm going to use all that money for one certain thing, and I'm not going to touch it to use it for anything else.
I would. That's what I would recommend. And it's hard to choose a goal, especially, when times are tight and you're kind of like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And maybe I lost my job or whatever. Everyone has to figure out their own unique situation and what really is going to work for them. But it's best to focus on a goal because that helps you keep focused on your side hustle.
What is your side hustle?
Well, interesting you should ask. Let's see. Well, I help Vicki with her financial wellness, so I guess that's one of them. But honestly, this summer, my son from college came home and his job fell through. And he was going to be a nanny and didn't need to be a nanny because parents were working from home.
Mm-hmm.
So he went out and started doing DoorDash. And I also have a teenage daughter, and she couldn't get a job anywhere. And I said, you're not going to stay home because she likes to shop, whether it's online or wherever. She's a big spender. And so I said, you're going to do DoorDash. And she said, well, I'm not old enough. I said, guess what? I'm driving, you're delivering. So that's kind of the side hustle. And it's funny because she doesn't always have time, but I'll go out and do it now. So I'm like, okay, I like to shop too, but I've made it so that money that I bring in is what I can use for, hair, nails, Botox, whatever. Like, that's my designated money. And I like it. I mean, there are days where yesterday I was working from 5 a.m. till, 5 p.m. And then I went out and DoorDash for a few hours, came back, and then went back to work later on that evening. But it's like an escape for me to some extent.
So with DoorDash, because I'm not really familiar because we live in a very rural part of North Carolina. So we have it, but it's not right where we're at. How does that work?
You literally turn on the app and you say, this is the area I want to work in, and it'll pop up a restaurant and it'll say, if you want to deliver Payway and it's 6 miles, it'll pay you $8. I mean, where we live, fortunately, we live in a densely populated area. I'm in the suburb of Denver, and it's about $30 an hour. So, I mean, it's worth my time. I like it when it's nice out and the windows down in the car and listen to good music. It's just, like I said, it's kind of a nice escape.
Where there's not so many people saying, Mom, do this for me. Mom, do that for me, right?
Or I'm like, okay, we're going. Guess what? Get off your Netflix or whatever it is you're doing. You're working. You want to go to Lulu? We're working.
That is so funny. Now, what do you suggest? Because like I said, I live in a really rural part of North Carolina. Mm-hmm. What do you suggest people who live in rural areas do for side hustles?
There's obviously many, but some of them are, it depends again on your skills and talent. So if you're a freelancer, there's all different types of freelance positions that you can do. There's so much that you can do remotely. If you don't have, let's say, those type of skills, virtual assistant. If you have a college degree, I don't think it needs to be specific, but just a degree, and I don't know if it's a 4 or 2 year degree. There's a website called VIP Kid where you can teach English to kids I think it's in China. I think tutoring is a great side hustle. I don't know if your schools are open there or not, but with this whole remote learning for much of the country, I think that's really opened up a lot.
Yeah, schools are opened here. They're going, like, part of the schools are going, at least the county I'm in, 2 days a week. Part of the kids are going, and then 2 days a week, other part of the kids are going, and then on Wednesdays everything's virtual because they clean the school at this point. So,
and that's another thing. We have the same thing here, but this week one of my daughter's schools was shut down because too many teachers are quarantined and they don't have enough subs. It's fine for my daughters. They're older. I don't have to hold their hand, but there's a lot of parents that are having to choose between work for helping their kids with school. And when your kids are younger and you have a job that you can't do virtually, it just opens the door to more side hustles. One of the things that Vicki put in the book was, kind of like a daycare, if you will, but for older children where you supervise them with their remote learning.
That's super cool. Now, where can we get the books, though?
It's on her website, Financial Wellness with Vicki, and they're downloadable ebooks. And it comes with a worksheet.
Yeah. Oh, and they come with worksheets? I haven't downloaded mine yet. I bought one, but I haven't downloaded it yet. So,
Okay, so if you don't download the book right away, you might have an error, and if you do, just reach out. We'll make sure that we take care of that.
okay. But they come with worksheets. That's super cool. That's something that you can mainly put in a binder and refer back to along the way.
Well, once you download the book, you'll have it forever, however you download it. But people that buy it and don't download it right away sometimes run into a little bit of issues. So we'll fix it.
So tell me, what's one thing that you would suggest for people to do as a side, not as a side hustle, but to get their mind straight on how to figure out their side hustles? I know you said it's in the book, but like,
I think, what do you enjoy doing? Like, I think what is something that you enjoy doing? How much time do you have to devote to it? If you're working 9 to 5, coming home, taking care of kids, you might be spent. You might not want to go out and do a DoorDash or something like that. You might look to do something more, like I said, like the Poshmark or, the online sales tools. If you were working remotely from home all day, or you want to get out, there may be something else that you want to do. There's the sales ones that you can sell anything. There's a chapter in one of the books about renting out tools from your house. I mean, literally anything. People will rent, and especially in a rural community, why not? Somebody needs a chainsaw for a day, they could go on this website and rent out a chainsaw for a day. So there's definitely something for everybody.
now, how would you go about incorporating it as a business? Because side hustles, you would obviously have to have a business name and run it through that way.
Well, it depends on the business. Again, the app-based ones, you really don't need anything. If you're selling on Poshmark or driving for DoorDash, DoorDash, you need to let your insurance company know. And again, I recommend being very transparent with your insurance company. If you are having kids over at the house as like a daycare that you're doing, remote learning, check with your insurance company to make sure that you're covered properly. And again, speak with a CPA or, a tax professional for that sort of advice. I really don't want to answer specifically because I don't know in everybody's situation. I'd hate to give the wrong answer.
Yeah, and I think that's so true. I mean, there's not a set answer for everything. It's not an all-encompassing answer because everybody has different talents.
And we do discuss that in the book, different steps that you need to take to protect yourself. Because if you have even any sort of business, whether it's a side hustle that is turning into a full-time hustle, you absolutely have to protect yourself. If you were using your side hustle to cook for people, for example, you have to follow the state cottage laws, which vary by state. And if you're cooking in someone's house, it's a little different law. So whatever you do, protect yourself. Make sure you have the proper liability insurance. Maybe you don't need it for everything, but find out. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
I know when I created the blog cabin, which is where we're at right now, it's actually a storage shed that we converted into an office for me outside of the home, because I'd always dreamed of having an office outside the home. And I was able to pay that with my blogging expense, my blogging income, pay for it. I first of all made sure that it was covered under our home insurance policy, because I knew I would be devastated if I lost everything in it, because we put so much money in it. So that's also very important as well, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. But your actual blog that you've monetized, do you have that insured, or is that?
No, I don't. Honestly,
no. I mean, that's not my area of expertise for insurance, so I don't really want to say anything, but there's less liability for a blog than the daycare at your house.
But I never even thought about that. Should I insure it?
Um, I don't really want to answer that because it's not my area of expertise, but I mean, you can ask somebody. I really, again, I can't imagine that there's a ton of liability, but don't take my word for it.
You got me questioning now.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not meaning to cause issues, but
No, actually, that's raised a really good
conversation. I mean, I said I grew up in the insurance industry. We are insurance nerds, just think very differently than the average person.
Yeah, and honestly, people are so quick to sue everybody
Mhm.
nowadays that it seems like that should be something I should look into. So, can you find out for me?
I'll ask Vicki.
Yeah, because I know she would know.
Yeah.
We actually have some comments. One says, "Great conversation and relevant ideas. We'll check the book out and excited for worksheets."
Oh, good.
So another one says, "Smart women." And there's another one asking about how to monetize a blog, but I think that's totally a different topic.
Well, I think that you are the expert in that. And it'd be great to answer that.
Yeah. And then one says you might need coverage for intellectual material. Is that true?
Again, it really just depends, but that's definitely a question to ask. We do our best to protect our intellectual property, like the books and everything. So,
because I know I do have the copyright on everything I have. On my blog, there's a copyright. I even tell people, like, they'll go and they'll say, "Hey, we need to share your." They go and take pictures and share it. I'm like, no, that's copyrighted material. You can't just take my pictures and use it for something else. That's copyrighted. Even when I have to remind friends, you can't grab stuff off my Facebook page because that's copyrighted.
Right. But it's so hard too when social media, I mean, anybody can screenshot anything. So, it's definitely a double-edged sword. You want to be out there and you want to be noticed.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So what do you suggest besides buying the books, people do to start their side hustle?
Just, talk to people. Like, have you seen the challenge that we started this week?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about talk to friends and family, ask them what they think you'd be good at. Most people really, truly want to help each other. I mean, there's always those that, we talk about that they want to sabotage you, but I think that's more rare. I think people really, truly want to help. And I mean, I just know me and working with Vicki, we like to try and lift each other up and inspire each other to be better and help each other to be better. And I'm a big believer that people really want to do that. So reach out to your friends and say, hey, I want to start something. What do you think I'd be good at? And hopefully they'll give you an honest answer.
Yeah, sometimes the answer may not be what you want to.
Exactly. But sometimes people see stuff in us that we don't see in ourselves.
That's true, because we are our own worst critics.
Oh, trust me, I know. Yep.
So is there anything else you would like to add about side hustles?
Not that I can think of right now.
Would you be willing to come on and chat again after I've finished the challenge and we'll talk about side hustle some more and about?
Sure. Anytime. I mean, yeah, I'd love to.
I mean, it's been a joy. Honestly, I am forever, forever, forever thankful for you for setting up that interview with Vicki, because Vicki was actually on my vision board, my professional board for this year. I have her and I have another housewife. She's on Beverly Hills that I have set up as, because they're all different with the way they are. One of them is accountability coach. Well, she's not a housewife anymore. She just got fired, but they're on my vision board along with another Christian author that I already had on. So Vicki was like my next step up.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm going to tell her that because she's huge into vision boards.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh my gosh, yes. Vicki loves vision boards and she's told me about hers. And I love the story because she told me about the vision board that she had before she met Steve, and she had a picture of George Clooney on it. And then she met Steve, and there are some similarities there. They kind of look a little similar. So she's big into them.
Yeah.
I'd like for her to post a picture of it. I haven't seen her vision board, but I'm sure it's really nice.
Yeah, because she was on my, like I did one for professional, and she was on it. She was like toward the end of it, not the beginning. I mean, it was at the end. It was like, okay, at the end of the year, I want to be, but I've already done it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I will definitely tell her that.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on today.
Well, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
And like I said, you're welcome back anytime. I'm going to keep following the group and everything. Tell us about the group. Can we still join the group?
Absolutely. So it's Financially Fabulous, Financial Wellness with Vicki. And one of the reasons that we started it, I said to her, I'm like, girl, you've got so much to offer, more than you even realize, and people want to hear. They want to learn from her. And as you've seen, she posts a lot of, I think, good content for financial wellness. And I guess if I go, take a step back, one of the reasons that we started it is, both of us being in insurance, we came across women, mostly women, although we have men in the group, that would go through a divorce and they'd call and they had no idea what was happening with the money, or, a situation where they were widowed and they had no idea. And it's kind of grown from that. But our point is to try and teach people how to be financially well, teaching the basics of financial literacy, because it's not something that most people get in school.
Yeah.
Although I did teach it to my kids' elementary school. I was part of the Junior Achievement program where I taught financial literacy to 4th and 5th graders. But, to adults, it's different. And there's, people, I think, feel some shame if they don't understand things, which they absolutely shouldn't, because we all have to start somewhere. And I just love how Vicki is a wonderful resource in teaching people. And I actually did some interviews with her that are recorded, and we will be posting those soon, where she explains some stuff that people I didn't know before I was working with her. And I've been in the industry for 13 years before I learned it. So she truly has a lot to offer in the Financially Fabulous group. I feel like she shares a lot of information. She's always willing to answer questions.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think that it didn't come off very well on television with her, is that she's a wealth of information.
Oh, yeah.
That she shares generously. It's not like she's holding everything together. And on the show, it came off like she was one of these people that were just after money and trying to put up a facade. You know what I'm saying? But she's totally different. After talking to her, I have more respect for her.
Oh, good. Yeah, I haven't really watched the show much in past years or whatever. But I mean, as a person, like I said, I just find her one of the most genuine people that I've ever met. And I mean, I value having her in my life. And I tell her that, she's wonderful. And I have not met anybody that's works as much as I do. I don't know. I think we were emailing for work last night till like 11. She will email me, go to bed.
And didn't you say right before she came on last week with me, she was emailing you?
She was. And I was like, what are you doing? I thought maybe she forgot. Which, of course, she's not going to forget because she's on top of everything. But I was a little concerned because I got an email and I was like, oh, my gosh, I think she's supposed to be on the blog cabin. So,
yeah. Well, once again, I want to thank you for coming on and for chatting about side hustles. So we'll see you on the next chat from the blog cabin. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you.